Namaste. Welcome to Krishna Yoga Vidya. Today we will understand topic about Bhakti Yoga, the path of love and devotion to the divine. So Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is known as the path of devotion. So it is the spiritual path in which a person develops deep love, devotion and surrender to the divine. So Bhakti Yoga is focuses on creating a personal and loving relationship with God. So the word bhakti is comes from the Sanskrit root word bhaj, that means to share, to participate or to share with love. So the bhakti yoga means loving participation and devotion towards the divine. It involves love, faith, surrender, and dedication to the God. The bhakti is broadly categorized into two types, that is Saguna Bhakti and Nirguna Bhakti. So, what is Saguna Bhakti? Saguna Bhakti means devotion to God with form and qualities. So, Sa means with, Guna means qualities. So, Saguna Bhakti means worshipping God with a name, form, and qualities. For example, devotees worship God in forms such as Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, etc. So, in this type of bhakti, the devotees feels a personal relationship with God. So, the practices of Saguna Bhakti is temple worship, prayers and rituals, singing bhajanas and kirtanas, chanting divine names, and offering flowers, lamps, and food, that is prasadam, to God. For example, when a person sings Krishna bhajans with love and devotion, that is called Saguna Bhakti. So the Saguna Bhakti is the most easier for people because the mind can focus on visible form of God, that is Saguna Bhakti. The second one is Nirguna Bhakti. So Nirguna Bhakti means devotion to the formless divine. Nir means without, Guna means qualities. So in this Nirguna Bhakti, we are not worshipping visible form of God. We are worshipping inner devotion. We are worshipping a formless God. So, the Nirguna Bhakti means worshipping God without form or physical attributes. So, here the God is understood as infinite consciousness, supreme reality, and universal presence. So, the practices of Nirguna Bhakti is first one is silent meditation and contemplation on the absolute, inner devotion and realization that God is exists everywhere. So, for example, a person who meditate on the formless universal consciousness is practicing Nirguna Bhakti. This Nirguna Bhakti is leads to deep understanding spirituality and realization of ultimate truth, that is Nirguna Bhakti. In the Bhakti Yoga, the devotion can be expressed through different forms or different emotions, right? That is expressions of devotion. The expressions of devotion in Bhakti Yoga is five types, that is Shanta Bhava, Dasya Bhava, Sakya Bhava, Vatsalya Bhava and Madhurya Bhava. The first one is Shanta Bhava. So, the devotee worships God with deep peace and quiet devotion. There is no intense emotional expression. Instead, the devotee experiences inner calm and spiritual awareness. The characteristics of Shantabhava is peaceful love for God and detachment from worldly desires, meditation and contemplation, that is characteristics. For example, ancient sages and rishis meditated on the divine with a calm mind. So, a devotee may sit in meditation and feel deep respect towards the divine presence. So, these Santabhava will help the mind become stable, calm, and spiritually focused. That is Santabhava. The second one is Dasya Bhava, means servant devotion. Dasya means servant, right? The devotee is considered themselves as a humble servant to God and expresses devotion through service, obedience, and dedication. The characteristics of Dasya Bhava is humility, loyalty, selfless service, and complete surrender. The example is a famous example, that is Hanuman, who served Lord Rama with complete devotion and dedication. Hanuman is always considered himself the servant to Rama and dedicated every action to him. So, these Dashabhava removes ego and pride in devotee and helping the devotee to develop humility and discipline. That is Dasya Bhava. The next one is Sakya Bhava, means friendship devotion. So Sakya Bhava means that devotee relates to God as a close friend. The relationship is based on trust, openness, and companionship. The characteristics of Sakya Bhava is friendly relationship with God, trust and honesty with God, sharing thoughts and feelings with God, feeling that God is always with you. For example, a well known example is friendship between Arjuna and Krishna. Like Arjuna treated Krishna as his close friend and his guide. So, these Sakya Bhava creates a personal and loving connection with God. The devotee feels that God is always present like a true friend. That is Sakya Bhava. The next one is Vatsalya Bhava, means parental devotion. Vatsalya means parental love. So the devotee feels parental affection toward God and treating God as a child and expressing love, care, and protection to God. The characteristics of Vatsalya Bhava is tender affection, caring attitude, feeling responsible for the divine child, and deep emotional connection. Example, a famous example, that is Mother Yashoda, we all know. The Mother Yashoda's love for child Krishna. She cared for Krishna like a mother cares for her child. So these Vatsalya Bhava develops pure love and compassion and also free from fear or formality. That is Vatsalya Bhava. The last one is Madhurya Bhava, divine love. Madhurya means sweetness. So, Madhurya Bhava, the devotee experiences God with deep, intimate, and passionate love, similar to the love between lovers. So, this Madhurya Bhava is considered the highest and most intense form of devotion. The characteristics of Madhurya Bhava is deep longing for God, emotional union with the divine, complete surrender of the heart, intense love and devotion. For example, the love of Radha and gopis for Krishna is the most famous example of Madhurya Bhava. So, in this Bhava, the devotee desires complete union with the divine. So, these all five are the different expressions of devotion to the God. 9 forms of devotion, that is called Navada Bhakti. So, the Navada Bhakti describes different ways a devotee can express love and devotion to God. So, these Navada Bhakti is explained in Narada Bhakti Sutras and Bhagavad Purana. The first one is Shravanam, that is listening to divine stories. Shravanam means listening to the stories and teachings of God. So, in this Shravanam practice, the devotee listens to spiritual teachings, stories of divine, and scriptures. For example, listening to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or the stories of Krishna. So these Shravanam or listening is the purifies the mind and fills the heart with devotion. That is Shravanam. The second one is Kirtanam, means singing or chanting the names of God. So Kirtanam means singing or chanting the names and praises of God. This includes bhajans, kirtans, devotional songs, and chanting mantras. Example, singing devotional songs about Rama or Krishna. So these chanting fills the mind with divine vibrations and deepens devotion. That is Kirtanam. The third one is Smaranam, means remembering God. Smaranam means constant remembrance of God. The devotee keeps God in their thoughts throughout daily life. For example, thinking about the teachings and presence of Krishna while performing daily duties. The continuous remembrance brings inner peace and spiritual awareness. And the fourth one is Padasevanam, serving the divine feet. Padasevana means serving the feet of God. It symbolically means serving the divine with humility and dedication. For example, serving in temples or helping others with devotion. These Padasevana develops humility and removes ego. The fifth one is Archanam, means worship. So Archana means ritual worship to God. So it includes offering flowers, lighting lamps, performing puja, and offering food, that is prasadam. Example, daily worship of Shiva, Krishna, and Durga, etc. So ritual worships strengthens devotion and discipline. And the sixth one is Vandanam, means prayer. It means offering prayers and bowing down with respect. This practice expresses gratitude and reverence. For example, folding hands and offering prayers to God. So, this Vandanam develops humility and gratitude. The seventh one is Dashyam, servitude. Dasyam means serving God as a loyal servant. So, devotee dedicated all actions to the divine. For example, devotion of Hanuman towards Rama. These Dashyam removes ego and develops complete surrender. And the eighth one is Sakyam, means friendship with God. Developing friendship with God is called Sakyam. So the devotee treats God as a close companion. For example, the friendship between Arjuna and Krishna. This Sakyam creates a personal and loving connection with the divine. That is Sakyam. The ninth one is Atma Nivedana, means complete surrender to the God. So the devotee offers his body, his mind, his actions, his whole life to the divine. So everything is dedicated to divine. For example, a devotee accepts everything in life as the will of God. So this Atma Nivedana is considered as the highest stage of devotion, that is Atma Nivedana. So these all nine are nine forms of devotion, that is Navada Bhakti. So how the Bhakti Yoga is relevant in modern life. So modern life is very fast and stressful. Work pressure, tensions, social expectations, right? These all are create stress and pressure, right? So Bhakti Yoga is reduce the stress and mental pressure. So the practices of Bhakti Yoga such as prayers, chantings, and meditation on God. Listening to the devotional music helps the calms mind and reduces stress. And the second one is provides emotional stability. So many people in today's world, many people experiences emotional problems like loneliness, depression, and lack of purpose. So this Bhakti Yoga is teaches love, faith, and surrender. It creates feeling like God is always with me. And the third one is control of ego. So in the modern life, the major problem is ego and pride. So the Bhakti Yoga, practice of Bhakti Yoga helps to control ego. People is always focused on personal success, social status, and material achievements. But this Bhakti Yoga is teaches humility and surrender to God. So these are the Bhakti Yoga relevance in modern life. So finally, the Bhakti Yoga teaches how to reach divine with a simple way. That is all Bhakti Yoga. So I hope you all are understand the concept of Bhakti Yoga. If you have any doubts, please feel free ask in the comment section. Thank you.